Safe. Couldn't mark either. It's back up there, would you? Back all the way up. Right there. It's not what you get the mark there, maybe it's- Come on, Mark. Bunch. I let you make copies, so when he comes back.
I'm sorry. That's tied up.
Is it working? Not happening.
It's going about clothes, masks, and handling. Email. We're starting at X, so 25.
Printer is malfunctioning. The printer is malfunctioning at the moment, so there are no extras. So I can say it again if you need to. Let me find the email.
It was still printing out your stuff, so it wasn't cleared, and I was trying to clear it. It's important. You can say that, but it's still coming out with your stuff. It's okay. But just technology can just probably. That's my. Hell. Share with it. Lots of in there.
Yeah, no, so somebody, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Sometimes. This here.
So fall.
Yeah, you got it.
I do.
Talking about the life cycle of civilization. And we didn't talk a whole lot about Jesus last time, but it's because to something. It just took us a while to get through this list, so should be able to wrap this up today. Decadence. With
25. So decadence, it starts out now the cancers. Now the cancers of a society in old age really begin growing rapidly. Do you want to give a little bit of a precursor of what we're talking about? Okay, so we started out talking last week about civilizations, how they start out with the birth and the conquest, and commerce, then affluence, and then it sort of reaches this pinnacle, and then you get to see intellect take over and decadence, and then finally death of a civilization. We kind of mark this trajectory with all the great civilizations. When we talk about the Greeks, or the Romans, or the Babylonians, and even, if you look at America today, this is sort of the discussion that we had last week. We kind of started out with the founding of a nation and the excitement and the risk taking and the laying down of your life and all those kinds of things were honorable. As time goes on, what's the next phase? You've had conquest, and so I think about the initiative and the Industrial Revolution, going west, and technology, and all of these things. And then you have commerce. It talks about how you have this large geographical area that's been, conquered. And let's see. Yeah, but I was just reviewing. So commerce is talking about how a lot of the economic barriers that kept you from achieving have now been overcome. The civilization is prospering. And then you have affluence, where people have money. People can become very wealthy. You definitely have like the wealthy class, and then you have the different classes of people. There are some of the ancient virtues of courage and patriotism and duty, and initiative in seeking for new profits on the frontier. But in general, this self-fulfillment starts to displace character and virtue. So this time of affluence is sort of like when you begin to see the downward of civilization. And then it brought us to intellect. Since now there's money to throw into schooling, wealthy merchants pour money in schools, no control. To control the next generation's thinking, begin to see college and universities pop up everywhere, but it's more about indoctrination than it is about knowledge. And then finally, where we were going to start today was decadence. And this is sort of are leading up to the death of civilization. So for decadence, and if anybody has anything to add, just jump in. Now, the cancers of a society in old age really begin growing rapidly. As one historian put it, characteristics of the age of decadence include growing civil dissensions, the influx of foreigners into the empire cities, which begin to splinter the society, loss of morality, accelerating materialism, increase in the influence of women, the rise of the welfare state, frivolity, pessimism, the weakening of religion, and all of these, like every single one of us can go down and give examples of each one of these that we see in our society today. For example, historians that lived in Baghdad during the decaying years of the Arab Empire lamented the indifference to religion, lowered sexual goals, increasing materialism, corrupt government officials, and the great influence that popular singers, go figure, held over young people. They complained, as did the Romans before them, of an increasing influence of women in public life. One historian put it this way: when I first read the contemporary inscriptions of 10th century Baghdad, I could scarcely believe my eyes. They might have been taken out of the Times of today. Times being a newspaper. The breakup of the empire, the abandonment of sexual morality, the pop singers with their obscene songs, the entry of women into the professions, the introduction of a 5-day work week, at a time when declining trade and financial stringency made this unwise. Citation, Sir John. At this stage, the cancer of pessimism develops and accelerates the decline towards death. Frivolity comes out of the pessimism. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. Ecclesiastes. A desire for lots of entertainment and amusement sets in, excitement, violence, sports, and immorality. The citizens of the civilization gradually come to the point where they will no longer make an effort to save themselves because they aren't convinced anything in life is worth saving. Right. Well, I'm even driving down the road and looking at billboards, and the kinds of advertisements that we see, and it was on how hard to be, not necessarily on how you're providing for your family or your church life. There's definitely less emphasis on morality, and everybody wants to do what seems good.
People might not understand this, that this isn't a slam against women would be doing, but it's the strength of the country and the nation.
Yeah.
The strength of a nation is its families. And at the turn of the century, a man could go out and put in an honest day's labor, and he would bring his earnings home, and the wife was teaching and helping with the family, helping and doing a lot of things. And we would say, in this society, that's meaningless, when it isn't. It's absolutely critical. The strength of a nation is the strength of its families, the family structures. And it's interesting that the women didn't get their vote until 1920, right in there. But I noticed that when Sherry and I got married and had kids, we wanted to send kids to better schools and things like that. So Sharon went back to work. And I was trying to build a career. And I noticed that it takes, now we're almost committed to a 2-income family, not a single income family.
Well, you also, this is not a jab, you also come from a generation where housing was a lot cheaper. And a lot of men could never.
$65 feet long.
Compare the cost of
I
the,
paid a nickel for a coat.
if you do adjustments based on salaries and GDP and all of that, the salaries are 65. The cost of real estate is much more.
Oh, yeah. But when you adjust everything, I mean, I need to Chevrolet Bel Air is $42. Okay, I mean, what Chevrolet costs today? What is the earning today? It's everything you need. I think father's generation, father in war, came back and made this the greatest nation that's ever been on the face of the earth. And they passed that on to her. And unfortunately, I think in some instances, my generation did not pass that on to the next generation. And it's not individual, it's as a whole. There's an old saying, hard times make hard men make good times. Good times make weak men, and weak men make hard times. And that's this evolution the civilization contract, and it's what I just said. A garden, a farm, had the value, they were good here, and we call it great thing. They made good time for us. Unfortunately, they, good times, making we do. They're gonna, a lot of times.
You can just look at how our government is taking care of veterans. We took care of World War II veterans. We did not take care of veterans. We definitely did not take care of foreign veterans.
Well, it's not, anything better.
I'm using that as an example to say that
Thanks to government.
it does not people the way it used to. And so we really should not be surprised when we're doing integrations of many people when people find that they don't have. Too, then they can find the rest of the person. I don't think they can find.
You know, we're. Issues. We need, I mean, a lot of we didn't, imposing fact, in their fight. So we bought 51,000 people. Golf, Bush, and Bush. Anything since then. Nothing.
It's really easy to say. My point is it's really easy to say. Something we see it's on the property. Billboards, whatever. And that's the fact that there's a lot of buildings. You just really
What?
people in
One of society, then by some large segment of society, they want to buy the state and because a lot of what we've done, particularly at home, we've lost faith in government and particularly younger generation, people under 50, and so like this, it made a war to the political gangs of the elite, and doesn't think to me, well, why should I care? And that's the way that everything is a war, is first few people in the party, because they did not take on 50 United States was invaded. And that's not going over. That's somebody said, really care. You know, wipe out that 30% in husband.
that's kind of like because you can hold that at a point of mentality. Most people haven't faced a situation, they don't really know what to do. You see that in the Ukraine, a lot of people who are unwilling to go to war. But and I'm not trying to get political, but as soon as Russia would be entered in, versus Russia tried to do, they had a ton of people. Because if it is, it's one thing to theoretically say people would be here. Especially when they feel like, but I think it's a reality. That I mean, I think you can look at September 11th. A lot of people before September very much shook off any of that. Well, whatever. And
But because of the changing laws of the country, everything that you see in billboards and TV and movies. Anything you can see, you know, it's a weakening of society. And the government and the education system from top to bottom and bottom up, doesn't want the populace to think for themselves. All they want is to educate the populace enough to do what they want to do, and nothing else. Yeah. So. They can think for themselves, make things, thinking citizens that will be the ones we need as part of. Well, it's like I said, I thought the brother did, the father did. I want to, there's not hard enough to see what's happening today. If we can treat the country better.
I want to interrupt. For somebody I've been in here. Anytime you want to pop in on the discussion.
Saying, I want to say this about the public education system, as someone who's been in public education, the government has set it to where they don't, sometimes they don't teach you the stuff that you need to be able to succeed in life. Whereas if you were in a private school, you'll be taught everything you need because, you know, your parents are rich people who love them. Whereas the public schools are usually neglected. They don't get that same treatment as, you know, private schools would get because, you know, because it's coming out of parents' pockets, but at the same time.
The university population center more than center of the room. Went to college to experience life, and there were all different kinds of views, and we talked and we argued and we fussed and we yelled and screamed to get your point across. And then we all went and had a pizza and beer and laughed and had a good time. Nowadays, you can't do that because they don't want to help this team.
Sure it is.
I've been in university for recently.
But I see, tell me what 20,000 students in Yale and Harvard are doing marching against Israel.
Did you listen to what they said?
From river to the sea, Palestine shall be free. Palestine is not a country. Never has been.
But did you listen to what the students what they achieved?
See, was there something in the chance that they, so I took it from that.
Yeah, we're on YouTube.
So it's not anti-Semitism. It's an objection to the fact that the people in the people, and again, I'm not trying to get from the people specifically are essentially in the present state. They're in the perfect state. They are their country is controlled in by Israel. They don't have free trade. They don't have electricity. They don't. Israel controls years ago, and they didn't have and they and why do you think Israel can just start their internet electricity like that? It's because they
Instead of going and confuse their need for infrastructure.
you think Israel would actually put the infrastructure they needed. You think they should get it. So Israel
was getting billions. Who was getting billions from this group?
They were getting Ran, another, there was a lot of group in the, and it's a noted factor that many countries that are against the US and all that support, there's even evidence of support that don't free supports. About the missile technology and all that stuff comes from other countries that are against the United States.
I'm invested in that.
That's how they get all that money is because they get it from the legal funding and black market trade. It comes from Iran and various other countries. They have black market. Black market trade is something compelling for many centuries.
If they're a legitimate country that's able to actually infrastructure and whatever they that's free trade.
Government, it's an authoritarian government ran by them.
You understand what I'm saying is that either they're completely corrupt and they are unable to do free government. And so they get or they're legitimate that just chosen not to actually set up infrastructure. You can't have it both ways. And so what I'm saying is that you have enough people now, the entire all the people in the government it's there, they absolutely deserve everything that comes. And I agree with that. The people in Congress are all deserve these. And that's basically
Argument becoming correct. But the other was also as well. You don't know.
no, it's not exactly. Yeah,
If you're surrounded by why did you first and the other? And Israel, and then start in why did you why did George walk into the world? Why did each walk down with them? Why did Sarah city? So they would take to know how to see.
Saudi Arabia is not a friend to any Bob. No competition. And
The said, no Palestinians are going to
but to Americans meeting together, they all have their own hates to each other. And so, like, I think that's separate. Is that if Israel we say that they're sitting before they approve
He looked at the international ranks.
for people, you know, that are eating dog food because they have no other food.
And I said,
They say-
it's because Hamas is stealing the food aid that people they're trying to give to the housing. Hamas is stealing from the people.
Too far.
Yeah. So, yeah.
My whole point is that if you're not just we're a Christian body. We know we have different political views. We see things different. But when we gather together here, we're trying to pull from one another. And when we denigrate or get into arguments on perspective, we miss the gospel. And it's interesting that we look at societies. The only thing I've heard is everybody talking past each other. We can't do that. How many agree we shouldn't talk past each other? Anybody disagree? Okay. We need to talk about the kid. And this is a good example of what the kid can go into. Dr. Eric can argue facts from his perspective. I can see it from another perspective. The thing we're here for is for Jesus and Him crucified and the resurrection. I'm here for Jesus. I'm here to see the Jesus in each of you. I know that if we as a body will pray for the people of Palestine, the people of Israel, and the nation, I believe we could pray peace on this nation and on the nation of the world. And all these arguments are mute. They're all mute in the light of Jesus. Argumentation is against the word of God.
Right.
But I think when we talk about the king, we just have to really see.
Well, we all love each other, so let's keep this in touch. And you know what, so passionate and that's.
I want to finish. Say,
Please,
now, please stop. Please stop. Now, please, let everybody
stand up.
Just stop.
Just stand up here.
You need a strong sense of arrogance.
Arguments.
Stand up. Okay, we have to do this.
Yeah, think of.
Listen.